Hi everybody, Lisa here. I'm sitting in my car. It's Saturday, so it is the day to talk about a wellness topic. Today I'm going to talk about my agoraphobia and social anxiety because I'm freaking out right now. It's just a good day to talk about this. A very fitting day to talk about this. So, okay, my daughter has a swim meet today at Dalhousie University, her first age group swim meet, so I'm very proud of her for doing that. She asked if I would take her and 3 of her friends from the swim team to the city early so that they could go shopping. I don't like shopping. I don't like malls. I don't like being in places like that. It triggers my agoraphobia because I have that fear that I'm going to have an anxiety attack or a panic attack, or I'm not going to be able to get out of the mall safely, or I don't have anyone to help me with that. So I really try to push myself in my life to not let my fears and my mental illness control what I will and won't do. This is a big deal for her. She wants to go shopping with her friends. It's not something she ever really asked to do other than like back to school shopping. So I agreed to drive her and her 3 friends to the Halifax shopping center to do some shopping for the swim meet. I'm then taking them from the Halifax shopping center to the Dalplex so that they can compete in the swim meet, participate in the swim meet. And then we're staying the night, so we'll be staying at a hotel. All of this is without my husband, and I find that really difficult. I don't stay in hotels by myself. I don't like driving to the city, and I don't usually go to malls and do all this stuff on my own. So it's really activated. So really nervous last night. Kind of turned to some wine, which wasn't the smartest thing to do. Doesn't help the anxiety, of course. I ended up like picking off all of my nail polish that my daughter had done, so I ended up just painting gray, all just from anxiety. So then, of course, this morning I woke up, my heart was racing, I had a headache, I was sweating, I ended up having diarrhea for the first hour or so after I woke up this morning, and I know what all of this is from. It's all just the anxiety, it's all just that anticipation and that worry. So I just tried to do what I knew that I needed to do to get myself ready. I got my glass of water this morning. I made my cup of tea. I had known that this would happen, so I got up in enough time that I had time to be able to do those things, to not have to rush and feel panicked. I decided on a different outfit for today because originally I was going to wear jeans, but I'm not really a jeans person, so I really just decided that I needed to wear something that made me comfortable. So that's why I decided on just a really loose-fitting, comfortable dress, comfortable shoes. I'm still freaking out. I'm sorry. Okay, so pick up the girls. I was very honest with Sophia this morning when it was just her and I in the car. I said to her, I'm out of my comfort zone here. Please be kind to me when you're with your friends, because we all know how sometimes teenagers are maybe not as kind to their parents when they're with their friends. So I just explained to her I was very anxious. I was outside of my comfort zone. I needed her to be mindful that I would need her help navigating, driving, because I've actually never driven to the Halifax shopping center, and I don't often drive in the city, so I just set her expectation that we would have the map on, but that I would need her help navigating to get there. She was fantastic, absolutely fantastic in the car. She kept kind of checking in with me. She was having fun with her friends. They were talking about boys, they were snapping, they were like listening to music, singing along. It was all great. But as we got closer to the city, she just kind of naturally toned things down. She turned the volume on the radio down a little bit. She was watching the map, kind of giving me a heads up as things were coming up. So she was absolutely fantastic. So we get to the mall, I park, they go in without me. They just completely ditch me, which is fine. I was just the taxi driver. So I knew that I was going to go in and look for a gift for my niece. Her birthday's coming up in November. And I also knew that this was a really good exposure exercise for me. This honestly has been the most difficult day that I've experienced with my mental illness in a couple years. Like, this was the most severe feeling of my mental illness that I've had probably in about 2 years. I no longer have as needed anxiety medication. I don't take that any longer, so I didn't have that to fall back on today. So I knew I just needed to use my tools. I knew I needed to be very mindful and just use my tools. So I did that. So I walked in the mall. One thing that I do is I squeeze, like, kind of in between my thumb and my forefinger. I squeeze the skin there and kind of pinch it, and that helps to calm me down. So I'm able to do that without people noticing, obviously, while I'm walking. So I was able to do that. I immediately went to the bathroom. The first thing I always do kind of when I go into a mall or something like that, I don't know why, I always go to the washroom. And so I use like a temperature control thing there. So I go to the washroom, but then when I wash my hands, I use cold water. So just having my hands in the cold water, if it's bad enough, I need to put cold water on my face. I do. I didn't feel like I needed to do that today. I also knew that I couldn't leave the mall while I was still feeling anxious, because that would defeat the purpose of it being an exposure exercise. So for me, I needed to stay in the mall. I needed to walk around. I needed to try to get as calm and as comfortable as possible, so that I was no longer panicking or feeling like I was going to have a panic attack. So I immediately, like, after I went to the washroom, I was just walking around, really uncomfortable. But then I saw a store. It's like the Showcase store or something. And I knew that they would have some probably cute things there that my son would probably like. So I went in and I was just looking at things, and because it reminded me of my son, and because I was looking at things that he may enjoy, that kind of helped me calm down a little bit. So I actually did end up buying him something that I'll give him for Christmas. From there, I knew what store I wanted to go to get my niece's birthday gift. So I went right to that store, took my time finding what it was that I wanted for her, mindful of my surroundings, mindful of how I was feeling. And then I decided that I don't want to be in the mall for 3 hours while the girls are in the mall. It's just, I don't have shopping to do. I just can't. I just don't want to be in the mall for 3 hours. So I was like, okay, I'll go to the car, but what am I going to do while I'm sitting in the car? So I went to the bookstore and I bought myself a new book that I'm excited to read. So I bought my book. I went to Starbucks and I got my mango dragon fruit lemonade drink. And then I just walked around for a little bit until I felt calm. The funny thing was, but by that point, I realized that I didn't know what entrance we came in, because I was so panicked when I actually got to the mall and I walked in. I don't recall seeing anything as I was walking in the mall. So I was like, okay, I need to calm down and I need to think, what's the first store that I remember seeing? Because if I can remember the first store I recall seeing, then I'll at least know what floor I'm supposed to be on and what kind of area. So that's what I did. I remembered that I had saw a Roots store. I walked around until I found the Roots store, and then that kind of was enough for me to say, okay, I'll go out this entrance. So I did. And I'm really proud of myself. I know that I'm still worked up. I know that I still feel emotional. But the big thing is, I didn't leave the mall in the middle of an anxiety or panic attack. I didn't leave at the height of my panic or anxiety. I waited until my heart rate felt more normal. I was no longer sweating. Yeah, I was anxious, but it wasn't an anxiety attack. So that gave me enough control to give myself permission to then leave the mall. And so now I'm sitting in the car. The girls have another couple hours of shopping. They have my cell phone if they need me. I can absolutely go in if they need me to. But for the most part, I'm going to sit here and read my book and drink my drink and enjoy the time, just some alone time, which I think is great. But this was a win for me today. This was an absolute win for me today as far as my mental health, living with this mental illness. I did not allow my agoraphobia or my anxiety to win today, so yay! And if you've ever experienced this, you know how exhausting it is. So I feel tired. I feel very emotional. I feel like very close to tears. And again, that's just, I think, coming down, like whatever the adrenaline or whatever it is, but I did it. So my daughter's happy. She's spending time with her friends. I didn't let my anxiety interfere. And yeah, for the rest of the afternoon, I'll get to, check into the hotel and watch her swim meet with a live stream. So go Mariners, go! Have a great day, everyone. Bye.